Hey everyone, it's Friday and welcome back to Major Hype, a show that I do every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday where I talk about entrepreneurship, money, and real estate. Today's no different, so let's get started. Inflation soared last month to the highest rate since November 1981 at 9.1%. But is it the end of the road? Inflation has affected every single one of us in one way or another, as we're spending more and more on goods such as fuel, food, housing. But some financial experts are predicting that this is going to be the peak, so we should see some relief soon. Taking a look at the sectors that affect our everyday lives, we can see that the housing has increased by massive amounts. Compared to 2019, when the U.S. median listing price was $315,000, to 2022, with the median price of houses at is $428,000. We all know that the housing prices now are way higher than they were in 2019, but we're also seeing a slowdown and reduction of overall pricing as more houses are hitting the market and fewer people are actually applying for mortgages. This one actually may work itself out. Moving on to the gas and energy sector, I know many of you are seeing and feeling the difference at the pump, but what about the overall increase across the board? Well, you see, in 2019, the national gas price was $2.76, almost $2 less per gallon than we're seeing now, with an average of $4.75 a gallon. In 2021, the average retail electric price paid by residential customers rose to the fastest since 2008. In 2022 is no difference, with a 41% increase from last year to over 14 cents per kilowatt, paired with the hotter days on average. I mean, it's just been hotter now these days. So running those ACs is going to hit the wallet a little bit harder this year. Now let's talk about something that people do every single day. Food, eat, right? These also increased substantially, with 10.4% overall increase from last year, with the average cost being something like a basic gallon of milk in 2019 would hit you for only $3.29. But today, nope, $4.41. So if you live at my house this summer, you're going to be eating those Oreos pretty dry. But hold on, because many financial experts are claiming that this is going to be the peak of the inflation and are expecting things to slow down here. But yet another increase on the horizon from the feds. Will that be enough to short the inflation? I don't know. We'll have to all sit around, wait, and see. The FBI just put out a report saying the amount of rental and real estate scams are on the rise, right? Nationwide in 2021, over 11,000 people reported losing, check this out, $350 million due to these type of scams. That's a 64% increase from the previous year. Now, during the Great Recession of 2008, myself, as I was a licensed broker and all that stuff, I seen rental scams all over Craigslist, from desperate people trying to become tenants by sending deposits and first month's rents to offshore scammers who had no actual connection to the actual home in question. See, one University of Rhode Island student responded to an online advertisement on Facebook Marketplace for an apartment in Wakefield, Rhode Island, right? So this student wired $1,800 to secure the place after he was told he wouldn't be allowed to see the apartment prior to moving in because the landlord is always traveling. Haven't we heard that before? When he showed up to move in, the address was to the leasing office, and he was told there was no units available. Now, I'm not laughing because this is funny. I'm just laughing because I've seen this so many times. So as I was scrolling through TikTok, I seen a handle from Life Tips From Us show the exact method that these scammers are using to create fake listings. So let's take a look.
I'm about to show you a rental scam that everyone needs to be aware of. So many people are losing thousands of dollars right now by the simple yet very clever scam that these are using to prey on people who are desperate. Because of the housing market and because our rental rates are rising, people are looking for cheaper houses or apartments to rent, and these con artists and scammers know that, and here's what they're doing. Let me give you a perfect example. On apartments.com, there's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house for $1,500 a month. The address is 15833 Bay Lakes. However, you check the address on other websites and you're going to see that it's actually for sale. So how did that happen? Simple. The person screenshotted all of the pictures that they posted on Zillow, and they posted it here and created a fake ad on apartments.com with a fake rental rate. So here's how the scam works. People who are interested in renting this house for $1,500 a month is going to send a message or email to the person who created the ad. In turn, that person is going to reply back and say, yes, you can go see the property. I'll even give you the lockbox code to enter the property, because they're not going to meet with you in person. Now, I know what you're thinking. How in the world does a scam artist get a lockbox code for a house or apartment they don't even own? Very simple. Many of these ads on these websites like Zillow, Apartments.com, Realtor.com aren't placed by typical everyday landlords. They're placed by property management companies. And these companies are either out of state, they're too busy, or they're dealing with the pandemic, so they don't want to meet in person. So they will email or text a potential renter the lockbox code. That's how these scammers get the code. They pretend to be renters. So now that they have the lockbox code, all they need to do now is create a fake ad like you see here with the cheap rent and a cheap security deposit, and they have a nice description and everything, so you think it's legit. They'll even send you a fake rental application like this guy sent me yesterday. You see this? Equal housing opportunity. How much money do you have at hand right now to secure the property? And once you do the fake application, which they're not even going to read, they're going to ask you to send them the security deposit and the first month rent with PayPal or Zelle. Some of these scam artists are even bold enough to even ask you to meet in person so they can get cash from you. Here are some good ways to make sure that you don't get scammed. First of all, if the price is too good to be true, it probably is. Secondly, you want to make sure that the listing is legitimate by doing a property search, making sure you thoroughly vet the address, check multiple websites, check the county's website to check the deed to see who's the actual owner of the property. Also, never send any money to anybody without first seeing the property for yourself. Another red flag should go up if you notice they're asking for money with the wire transfer or money order or even cash, because once you send that, there's no way to accurately trace it. And most importantly, like I said again, do your research, do your due diligence, and make sure you're not sending any money to anyone that you're not sure if they actually own the property. Please share this with somebody and follow for more tips.
So how do you avoid being scammed? Well, generally, it's best not to wire funds to people you don't know. Confirm the identity of the landlord by researching public record to find out who owns the property you're seeking to rent or purchase. There's so many ways that I've shown on this channel that allow people to see exactly who owns a specific property. Here's another thing. Don't fill out applications online until you have met directly with the property manager. That's pretty simple. Be wary if a potential landlord says he's out of the country and wants the rent sent to his foreign account. Don't do that. But here's my general rule of thumb. If it seems to be too good, it most likely is. So don't get scammed. All right, moving on to your favorite bike that goes absolutely nowhere. Peloton said Tuesday it plans to exit all of its in-house manufacturing and instead will expand its relationship with Taiwan on a bid to turn the money-losing business around. See, the new CEO, Barry MacArthur, who is actually the old CEO of Netflix, said that this is a step for the company to simplify its supply chain and fix the cost structure, which is his #1 top priority. But is this simply covering up other issues? See, you can hide bad management and poor financial decisions, especially when your sales are through the roof. But over the past few months, Peloton's most important aspect is crashing. See, their stock is down more than 75% so far this year. It went from $19 a share prior to COVID, peaking at over $165 during the mid-pandemic. Now the stock is down to just $8 a share as of the last close on Monday. And overall sales in Peloton have plummeted 24% this quarter. I mean, inventory is simply piling up in warehouses as Peloton doubled down on assuming that they would keep track with the revenues from the pandemic, making long-term bets on Peloton supply chain during the peak of the coronavirus and the pandemic. Back to what I said on Monday. For Peloton, the pandemic was a great appreciation, and things are going back to normal as their services were needed greatly during the time when public gyms were closed and many people were looking for safe alternatives to stay fit. But how will they survive now that some normalcy is back in place? A few weeks back, I did a story about Evergrande. It's a massive Chinese-owned property management company defaulting on their billion-dollar loans. But recently, some new news came in that explains why. You see, in China, millions of people are no longer paying their mortgage on homes that are under construction or renovations throughout the pandemic. See, with China being one of the strictest countries during the pandemic, the ability to renovate homes and apartments came to a grinding halt. In China, developers use mortgage payments to finance new property projects. So the fallout from the non-payments are concerning, as the sector is already dealing with the cash crunch that started after Beijing cracked down the excessive borrowing from property developers. This is leading to a credit crunch for developers and massive defaults in offshore dollar bond markets, but also a rise on non-performance loans for banks, which sit at the center of China's financial system. China has steadily accumulated U.S. Treasury securities over the last few decades. As of October 2021, it owns $1.065 trillion, or almost 4% of the U.S.'s $29 trillion of national debt. Now, this is more than any other foreign country in the world, except for Japan. So if China starts defaulting at a mass rate, it absolutely will affect the prices of goods and services here in the United States. This is something to keep our eye on. If you can't afford a 15-year fixed rate mortgage, then you can't afford the house to begin with. That's exactly what Dave Ramsey tweeted to his 900,000 followers. See, Ramsey suggested not buying a property if you can't afford the monthly payments to be debt-free in 15 years. And Realtor.com revealed that with a typical listing price of $450,000 and a 15-year mortgage at 4.5% and 20% down, that will roughly be $2,745. If a buyer wanted to spend no more than 30% of their income on housing, they'll need $110,000 in take-home pay. Now, if a buyer used that same rationale to a 30-year mortgage at 5.3% and a $2,000 monthly payment, they would require to bring home $80,000 in yearly earnings. As the median household income in the United States is $90,000, the 15-year mortgage rate would not be reasonable using the 30% criteria. So think about this. I've been to many countries around the world, and America is one of the countries with the most robust mortgage system. It is uncommon for other countries to have a mortgage past 5 years. When I was in Ghana, as they were just now standing up their young mortgage system, most people have to pay off their house within 1 to 2 years of actually buying it. In my home country of Jamaica, we call it building the house block by block. Most people actually build their house every single week. Now, you can go to the bank, but most people would rather just own it outright. But America is spoiled. We're used to a 30-year mortgage on a house, and our housing market is much stronger than a lot of these other foreign countries. So 30% of your income to buy a home, that's the rule. 15-year mortgage, most people don't do that. 30-year mortgage, most people do. Tell me in the comments, do you think that Dave Ramsey is right? A 15-year mortgage, if you can't do that, then you should not buy the house, get a cheaper one? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys got to say. Now, my favorite online shop of all times, Amazon Basics, is pretty much no more. Well, not quite yet. See, Amazon said that they're going to basically get rid of their Amazon white labeled products. Like, you buy a battery, you can pick Duracell or Amazon and save 50%. And so on with so many other products. See, they're getting forced and pressure from regulators and other people that list their products with Amazon. People are saying, listen, you got all the data on how well all these products sell because it's the back end, and you just go out and white label it and create your own product. You don't charge yourself fees, so you automatically get to list these products for cheap. So with the pressure coming from the outside, Amazon is really looking at slowing down their Amazon Basics business, which is essentially white labeled of products. They have gathered, I believe, over 27,000 white label products. That's a lot. So this is good news if you own an Amazon store, or if you have your own brand and Amazon recently or in the past has white labeled your type of product. This may help your sales go up. But for the consumers, things may cost a little bit more. It's okay though. We'll figure this out. All right, guys, before I get out of here, TWNSQR has officially launched. If you're in the wholesaling business and you're a real estate investor and you're having a hard time, or you want to speed up your disposition process, right? So most people have their businesses divided into 3 sections. You're going to have your marketing, which is you're going to market to acquisition your properties. Then you got your transaction coordination, which is how you get that. Then you got to dispose of the properties. Every single week, I get dozens of emails and inboxes and direct messages about, hey, look, I need help disposing of this actual property. Would you JV with me? This software, this website, TWNSQR.com, which I'll leave a link below. First of all, it's going to allow you to post your actual property that you have for sale. You can keep that and send it just to your buyers using their email system in this pretty little templated form for like $150 a month. But you also can say, hey, look, it looks like Max has a bunch of buyers in Winston-Salem. How about I send this property to him and see if he's willing to JV? It streamlines the process for you guys that are having problems dispositioning your properties or even just want to speed up the process. TWNSQR is going to change the way that we do business in wholesaling. So check out the link below. Use the code MAX for 20% off and you won't be disappointed. I also got some YouTube videos up showing exactly the insides. Lift up the hood so you can see how TWNSQR works. TWNSQR is going to change the way you dispose of your properties. So what are you waiting for? All right, guys, that's this episode of Major Hype, and I'll see you guys on Monday. But before I go, if you're not subscribed, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And for everybody that is subscribed, turn on that little bell notification. That way you just get a simple, gentle push notification to your phone when I post new videos. And like always, I appreciate you guys sticking with me, hanging out with me, kicking it with me. But it's Friday, and don't ever punt on the weekend like my man Vunt says. Go out there and make some money. I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.